Hidden away in Gloucestershire is this little gem, Coombe Hill Nature Reserve. It's a special place where you can take a walk and observe wildlife going about its business. It is the kind of place where all your troubles disappear and the only thing you have to do is relax. And on my stroll, it wasn't long before I found my first composition. And to make it more interesting today, I'm only shooting infrared. Using an IR converted 5DS, which has been loaned to me by Canon. It has allowed me to experiment with my landscape photography, forcing me to look at the world through a different lens. So with birds and insects buzzing around me, I moved on to another part of the reserve where I knew there was a potential composition.
Composition wise, I'm going to start with this one, with this ditch here full of water which is covered in this green algae leading off into the distance, and on each bank there's just lovely lush green grasses, and the sky, it's almost perfect for infrared, you know, that blue sky with intermittent clouds, fluffy clouds, and I think it looks really good. Let me talk about settings. I'm on f11 at the moment, so you still have to consider depth of field in your scene even with infrared. I'm on ISO 100. It's really important with infrared to keep that ISO as down far as you can go, because within IR, when you process it, you can end up with a lot of noise in your image. So you've got to keep that quality really high. And at the moment, because it's bright sunshine, I'm on about 500th of a second. I will change those settings. I will have a play around and bracket some images, but it's a lovely shot.
Over stiles and through fields, I walked on from the nature reserve through the glorious Gloucestershire countryside. I was heading for something very special.
You know, I found this tree about 2 weeks ago and I'm so pleased I did. It's an incredible subject. This mighty oak tree stood in the middle of this field, isolated on top of a hill overlooking Gloucestershire. It's incredible, and in terms of photography, it's such a great subject. And of course I'm shooting IR today, and it's perfect for IR because you've got this lovely tree here with blue skies and clouds in the background, and that really lends itself to IR photography. Such a find. And in terms of settings, so I'm currently on f8 and I'm about 320, 400ths of a second. I'm playing in between shutter speeds at the moment because the sun keeps coming in and out, so anything up to about 640th down to 320th, and I'm currently on 100 ISO, and I'm not going to change that. As we said earlier in the film, ISO is so important when you're shooting with IR. You've got to keep it low. IR inherently has a lot of noise in the image, so you've got to manage that. You've got to keep your ISO as low as you can. I haven't been shooting IR very long at all. In fact, I'm really new to it. but I love it. In terms of IR for landscapes, it's fantastic. It really gives you a different look and allows you to experiment with compositions and just have a really good play with photography. It's quite nice to do something different in photography to get those creative juices flowing. And once you've nailed the processing side of IR, it's so much fun, and the images have a real distinct look to them. And I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, you'll see them on this video, but it's almost like an alternate reality. You know, Stranger Things, the upside down. It's almost like that. That's what it kind of reminds me of, this alternate reality. So in terms of escaping into the scene, it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. Today's been a fantastic day. I've absolutely loved every minute of it. From the nature reserve and the lovely sights there to this tree, which is just, I don't know, it's just awe-inspiring. And the fact that it's probably been here for about 500-600 years is incredible. And you know, there's something to be said about just getting out in nature and absorbing it all. It's really good for you, you know, it's good for your mental well-being. And being able to capture that as well, whether that's normal photography or infrared, which I've been doing today, it just means you're creating memories, really, you know, that will last you a lifetime, and you're recording the natural history of the area you're in, whether that's the UK or abroad. And I think there's a lot to be said for that. It's very important for you, as I say, for your own well-being, documenting our beautiful landscapes around the world. And that's something that I hopefully will continue to do for a long time. I would say this is probably one of the most amazing, loveliest, superest, spectacularest, bestest tree that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Of trees, yeah.
It's a tree of trees.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's the king of all trees.
It's the king of trees. It's a tree of trees.